Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Kyle here with Family Firearm Reviews. Today we're going to check out the Springfield Echelon. So this is the upgraded version. It came with the threaded barrels and the tritium night sights. So I've seen a lot with just the standard sights, standard barrels. So I want to see how this runs, and then we're going to throw a suppressor on here at the end of the day and see how it runs suppressed. So it's a really nice firearm, and it does feel really comfortable in your hand when you pick it up. It's got a lot of good texture. You've even got some spaces here on your gas pedal. If you flop it to the other side, there's a spot here that's textured. Your takedown lever is textured. Your trigger guard on the bottom and front are also textured. So this is a lot of good places for you to get a good grip depending on how you want to shoot. You know what I mean? A larger firearm gives you a lot of different places to place your hands. So depending on the style of shooter you are, you can really make this work for you. Now it did come with a lot of nice accessories as well. We did get two mags. You got a 20 rounder and a 17 rounder. But what's nice is with the 17 rounder is they did send you the plate and stuff to swap it over to the 20 rounder. So you could have two 20 round magazines. You did get two additional plates. It has a small and a large. The medium one came on the firearm for us. It comes with a mag loader, just your standard kind of push down mag loader there, but I assume it's going to get pretty hard to load the 20 rounders, so they might have sent this for that reason. We also have the variable optics mount. So what that actually means is there's a pin set in here instead of optics plates. So they send you the pins and you can remove this plate and run a lot of different optics in there, which is great. So this actually comes optics ready. You don't have to order a plate or have them ship you a plate for whatever optic you want to run. It can fit a lot of different footprints here, and that's a really nice feature right out of the box. A lot of firearms say they're optics ready, but how many of us have bought one? Then we have to go find the plate and buy a $50 plate and get it shipped to us, or figure out what we have or what we want to put, get a hold of Walther, and then they'll ship us the plate for free. But still, this one comes right out of the box. If you had an optic ready, boom, plop it right on there, which I think is a really nice feature. We do have a nice full-size pick rail here, which is going to add, you could add light, laser, whatever you want. I know a lot of people like to add the light or laser for some recoil control, and that's definitely going to help you out in that region. It is a fully ambi firearm. So as you can see, we have our slide stop slide release. We have our mag release on this side. It is mirrored on the other side here. Now, the slide stop slide release is back here kind of a ways, kind of out of the way. It's really small, which is something I'm not sure that I'm a huge fan of, but you're not going to hit any accidental, the slide's not going to lock back on the last round because you're riding that a little too hard. I think it's just far enough out of the way, as you can see here, when I put my hand, and even when I lay my support hand, that I can reach up and bump it, but I'm not going to be bumping it by accident when I'm out there shooting. So I think it's in a good spot. Now you can swap out your sights. They are dovetailed sights. You can drift them side to side, but they are not adjustable for elevation. So if we look, we have a nice set of deep serrations on the firearm on the front and rear. Easy to grab, but they're not too aggressive where, some of them will actually kind of feel like they're going to cut you. Now there are cocking wings on the back of the firearm too, so if you are going to grab it, it makes it so you're not going to slide off if you're in wet conditions or things of that nature. You can really get a hold of those and really rack this slide very easily. Now this is also set up kind of like the Sig Sauers, right? The trigger grouping is what's serialized right here. So you can actually pop the trigger grouping out, put it into a different pistol, and be able to run it that way. And I looked on Springfield sites, they do sell different lowers, so you can get something, maybe if you wanted to try a different stippling job on yours, you could do that. So I think that's a really nice feature and something a little different. They're kind of all going towards that way. So it's a nice little package in the firearm. It's pretty comfortable, and you're running around a $680 mark there. That's before taxes and everything like that. So around $680, you could get this plus tax, transfer, whatever it is in your local state. They also do give you a little bag. Hopefully for that price, they give you something there. Just a little mag holder, a little something to get it to and from the range. Nothing too fancy. It is just cloth, but it is kind of a nice little features, nice little setup here for this firearm. So with that, let's dive into the numbers. The numbers on our Springfield Echelon are a 5.28 inch threaded barrel. It is a hammer forged barrel, and it is half by 28 threads underneath our cover here. Now we are running an overall length of 8.8 inches. We are running a height of 5.5 inches with a flush fit mag and 6.5 inches with our extended mag. We have a width of around 1.25 inches at the widest point of the firearm, which is going to be right here, kind of where your gas pedals are. Now we are running a weight that is unloaded with our regular mag, our flush fit mag of 24.5 ounces. And when we put our extended mag in, we are at 24.9 ounces. So it's not going to add a lot of weight for that firearm. So with that, let's dive into the ammo we're going to go through today. Today we're going to do our typical 150 rounds, but we're going to do a lot of the common bullet weights. We are going to run some 124 MagTech ammo. We are going to run some 147 Remand ammo from Freedom Munitions. I saw that a lot of the reviews said some of the other Springfields had some issues with the 147. We're going to see if it has it here today. And then we're just going to run some 115 Blazer training ammo through this, see if it's functions, see if there's any issues with 115, 124, or 147 ammo today. We're also going to run it suppressed and see how it does that way, because what's the point of getting a threaded barrel if you're not going to run it suppressed? So with that, make sure you check out some of those links below. We do have a Patreon, we do have some cool shirts and items down there we'd like you to check out. But let's get to the important stuff, get out to shooting. We're out here for an accuracy test. We are going to run our 3 rounds. I put the Blazer brass in there for this because I figured that's the target ammo that a lot of people are going to end up using. So, see how she goes. Pretty good, 2 touching, 1 just off to the right. Pretty good little grouping, low on the red. That trigger feels really good. I mean, the reset and everything on it is actually really comfortable. So let's check that out real quick. So when I pull the trigger, you've got a little bit of take up, as you can see here, but once you get super solid wall, goes off, and then the reset, pretty short, very tactile, and you're right back on that trigger. That's really comfortable. I didn't show that earlier. I want to show it now. It really does make for nice, accurate shots. So let's get Lauren out here.
Not too bad for me for a first time. It has the 3 white dots, so I'm a little side to side, but that's pretty darn nice.
Now that we've run all of our 115 and our 124, I've got the 147, and I know I've seen reviews and heard some firsthand accounts where the Prodigy didn't like 147. So this is suppressor ready. It's gonna run, heavier ammo. It's gonna help us be a little bit better. So I wanna see if it can run without the suppressor, and then I'm gonna throw the suppressor on the 147 and see if we can do 20 rounds that way too. Ran that like a dream, so let's get the suppressor on and get back out of here. Now we're gonna run our 147 grain ammo. We're gonna run her suppressed. So we've got our nice Osprey 45 on here. Let's see how she goes. Oh, failure there. That might have been ammo related. Let's see. So it ran all of those. We did have one failure. Let me see what that is. It looks like it hit the primer pretty good, but this is Remand 147. So I think that may just be an issue with the ammo itself. So we can try to run that again, but I don't think it's going to do anything. I think sometimes these primers are just not quite well enough and good. Well, there it went that time. So we did have one issue with the suppressor. Now it's going to be Lauren's turn on the suppressor in the 147. Oh, failure there. That might have been ammo related. Let's see. Now that we have our first 150 rounds through the Springfield Echelon, let's go get our final thoughts on these first shots. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the review of the Springfield Echelon. Now, this actually turned out to be a great firearm. It did feel really good in my hand. It shot really well today. We did have one malfunction with the Remand 147, but I was able to throw it in there, run it again. I think it was just a bad primer, a hard primer, because it did have a pretty good dimple in it. So I don't think it was the gun, I think it was more the ammo. But I was able to throw it back in, run it another string, and it did work fine. It did work well with the suppressor. We shot that, Lauren shot that, that's always her favorite. We didn't do any optics yet. Now we're definitely going to get an optic for the top of this and try out that little plate system. Well, not the plate system, but the pin system, and see how well that works as well. I think that'll be pretty neat. I think that'll be nice. We can go and pick out basically anything we want, throw it on there, and see how it works. Now it is very nice, very comfortable. It feels great in your hand. You can get a really nice purchase on the firearm. It has good texture. It has good texture points to let you know you're home. There's texturing on this front. So again, I shoot sometimes like this. I'm trying a couple different grips when I shoot these to see what feels perfect for me. There's also a nice deep undercut that I didn't point out before. And you can really get a high purchase on the firearm. And it's got a really big trigger guard. So if you're wearing gloves or something like that, you can easily get them in there. Serrations were easy to manipulate. The sights were easy to pick up. There's tritium 3-dot white dights. They're not, or tritium 3-dot night sights. Of course I can't speak today. Aren't always our favorite, but they are good, especially if they're going to be a combat or something like that. This may be your home defense firearm. You want the night sights. I think that's just a better pickup, especially in low light situations. What'd you think?
So this is another new 9 that really surprised me. I really enjoyed shooting it. It feels great in the hand. It's really lightweight. The trigger is beautiful. It's easy to rack. It came with the mag loader. Everything about the gun is really well made, and it was great to shoot. I mean, right out of the gate, I was on point with it. Now, the 3 white dots are not great for me. I have a really hard time with that contrast, so I'm going to be excited to get an optic on there and see how I shoot with that. But, I mean, overall, super low recoil. Everything functioned really well. It's thoughtfully made. I was really impressed with it, and I was surprised.
No, I was too, and I thought that the slide stop, slide release would really bother me, being way back here and being so small. As you can see, they're super tiny. I didn't bump them at all by accident all day. I did run them. I ran it like the slide. I ran it with the slide stop, slide release, and people can cry all they want, but this is a review to show you, can you do it? Is it going to hold up, right? I know that's not 100% the way it's supposed to be used, but I want to do it that way because I know there's people out there that that's the only way they've ever been taught. I want to know if it's going to hold up for you, right? So that's why we do it. We want to abuse the gun a little bit, maybe do the things that aren't 100% recommended, but that we know are standard practice. But manipulating, if you wanted to press check, it's very easy. You can see a little bit of brass when you do have the firearm out there on the range. There's nothing on the top. It's off to the side. So I think that it's a fairly good package. There's a lot of good texture. There's a lot of good features. There's a lot of things that make this very comfortable. The trigger, I mean, the trigger alone when I was out there, it's a nice, big, flat trigger, flat face. There's your shot, and then your take-up is very minimal. You can see maybe an 1/8 inch of take-up. You get a tactile click, and then you're back on there. So I think for Springfield, this is really kind of a good start, a good hit, maybe a home run. Maybe we can give Glock a run for their money, right? Maybe the dependability will go up here, something of that nature. Maybe this can be the one that fights the Glock for some supremacy. I know it's going to be hard for you Glock guys to ever come off a Glock, and Glock has a great reliable track record, but a lot of these things, not a lot of new firearms that are coming out have a lot of the same features. Striker fired, good triggers, right? Straight triggers, a lot of the pick rails, things of that nature, optics ready, all for around $680 for this firearm.
And from a woman's perspective, I mean, I've been shooting a lot with my PDPF. This is extremely comparable. The weight of it, the low recoil, how easy everything is to use. I mean, as a woman, I would really recommend this as a 9 that you could shoot and feel really, really comfortable with.
And that's saying something. So Lauren has those grip strength issues, but she was able to rack this, manipulate it, use the slide stop, the mag release. Remember, it is ambi, so you can be right or left-handed. So for you lefties out there, this might be a great option. I really think that this is a home run. We're going to put some rounds through it, see some abuse, and see if the upgraded just with the threaded barrel, and basically the sights are the only difference with this one compared to the regular one. On the other one, you'll get the typical U sights that you see on the Hellcats. This one does come with the upgraded sights and the upgraded threaded barrel, which we ran the suppressor on the 147, and again, it ran good today.
It was great.
I think this is a definite positive firearm, positive review. We're going to have to get more rounds through. Again, we only put our 150 through there, but we put 115, 124, and 147, and only had one issue with the remand ammo, and I think it was more the ammo than the firearm. So thanks for checking us out. We hope to see you guys next time. Thanks for watching our video. Make sure to hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. If you liked the video, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel.
Comment below. We want to hear from you. Get more content from Family Firearm Reviews by joining our Patreon and checking out the links in the description.